Welcome to Outdoors Radio with Dan Small, your source for the latest hunting and fishing information.
Thanks for joining us on Outdoors Radio. I'm Dan Small. Time now for an update on Lake Michigan fishing in the Sheboygan area, sponsored as always by Dumper Dan's Sport Fishing Charters, Condos, and Riverfront Store right there on South Pier Drive in Sheboygan and on the web at dumperdan.com. He's also got a Facebook page, Dumper Dan Sport Fishing Charters, and of course this interview and all the interviews that we're doing this year will be posted on that Facebook page, so you can listen again and see some video and still shots as well that kind of illustrate what we're talking about. Also sponsored this week by Bourbon Street Pub and Grill, 1536 Indiana Avenue, a little bit of New Orleans in Sheboygan. Online at bourbonstreetsheboygan.com and on Facebook at Bourbon Street Pub and Grill. Well, joining us once again from Dumper Central in Sheboygan, Dumper Dan Welch himself. Well, Dan, thanks for joining us again.
You betcha, and you're making me hungry with some really awesome food at that place.
Yeah, well, we might have a chance to sample that when I come and join you next week, and we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But how's the fishing been?
Fishing's been good, Dan. It's changed quite a bit, actually, since the last time we spoke, and it always does as weather predicts the fishing, the water temperatures, and where these fish travel to. But it's all good right now, and it's a lot of fun. The fish are close to shore. A lot of people that walk in my store comment, geez, the boats, I can see them, right from Lakeshore Drive or out past the pier heads. What's going on? I'm like, well, the water's cold. We've had a lot of west winds and some south winds, west in the morning, south in the afternoon, which keeps the water cool. Right now, surface temp is about 54 degrees, and down about 30 to 40 feet, that's about 46, 48 degrees. The kings are in close, and we're catching some really nice-sized fish right now, Dan. It's been a blast.
Well, that's great. How are you fishing for them in close, then?
Well, in close, we don't have to fish, stuff down as deep. Obviously, we're fishing anywhere from 30 feet of water. Even 25 foot was really good up by the Pigeon River the last few days, up to the golf course, Whistling Straits, back to the harbor. 25 to 30 foot's been a good run. A couple of my other boats have been running 40 to 60 foot, but everything inside 100 foot, 60 to 70 is the deepest we're going out right now, which off Sheboygan, Dan's, half mile, 3/4 mile out, so it's easy access, a lot of boat traffic in them areas, especially during the week evenings or on weekends. But the mornings, Monday to Friday, for us has just been awesome because we can get in there and pound on these fish and fill coolers full of king salmon. And we had quite a few in the upper teens and anywhere from 17, 18 pounds up to about 25 pounds. We haven't had any big, real giants in the last week, but we've had some just quality, nice 20-pound king salmon come in on all 6 of my boats, and they fight hard in that cold water. They're fun to catch, and we catch them on slide divers. We catch them on dipsy divers with monofilament line, being that shallow, downriggers, planer boards with 1, 3, and 5 colors of lead core. So everything we're trolling is in the top 30-foot range, because we're not that deep. Fun to catch because there's not a whole lot hanging on the backside of them planer boards or downriggers, so it's you and the fish. And medium action tackle is just a blast with 20 to 30 pound test, and these fish run out 200-300 feet of line at one time.
And is it all kings?
Mostly, Dan, it is. And different size ones. We got 2, 3, and 4-year-old class king salmon in right now. Good eating size, 8 to 12 pounders, some 15 to 20s like I just mentioned, and a few over 20. But there are a few cohos mixed with that, a few brown trout, and some cohos and some rainbows, occasionally a laker. So there is still variety, Dan, but it's been more kings than anything in different sizes. Average catch right now, you'll see on my Facebook page, a party of 4 can go out and catch anywhere from 8 to 15 fish a trip, and they're all from 8 pounds up to 20-some pounds, so just good fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, in another month, a lot of those fish, the 4-year-olds anyway, will be going up the rivers to spawn, so they've got to all be moving in now, the bigger ones.
Yeah, they will be. That's a good point, Dan. And then 4-year-olds, the spawners will come in, start staging for that. 2- and 3-year-olds will be, in the same general area, give or take, following bait fish around, what have you. And we're really looking forward to the fall season. It's hard to believe we're talking fall already. The summer's just flew by. it's going to come quick, and these fish will be in by the harbor mouths and tributaries and coming in the spawn. Another good thing too is pier fishermen. I mean, every morning we go out, the pier, North Pier's loaded with people. The end of the South Pier, there's people out there, and they're fishing, right at sunrise at 4:35 in the morning, and evening 8, 9, 10 o'clock, and catching salmon right off the piers off the Port of Sheboygan too. If you don't have a boat and you're not charter fishing, you can definitely take a rod and go out on the pier and catch something at this time of year too.
How are they catching them off the piers?
Casting usually, Dan, spoons, Cleos, Mr. Champs, KO wobblers work good. Otherwise, an egg sinker with a big single hook on it with a alewife, and soak that on the bottom. Float that up off the bottom on an egg sinker. Alewife setup works well, but a lot of spoon casting. A lot of these guys are jigging for them too, Dan, which is something I never did back when I was a kid. But now that's the newest thing, is they vertical jig them right along the pier, or even in boats. They'll kayaks have been out there doing it, and they use these big flat spoons, big white and silver flat spoons, buzz bombs, and they just jig them up and down, vertically jig for these salmon too. So spoons are probably top choice for these salmon this time of year, but definitely if you can get your hands on some alewife too, it's worth doing that on a bobber or on an egg sinker.
Can you buy those alewives in bait shops, or have you got to catch your own?
You can get them here in Sheboygan, the bait shops. Otherwise, if you have a dip net, bring the dip net down and dip for them, and then you can use live ones and not frozen ones. The ones you buy in the tackle shops are frozen, which work well too, but if you can dip for them, that's usually the best choice. Put them in your bucket, a couple of them, and use them on the pier. And it's fun. Back when I was a kid, I did that a lot when I was a teenager, or even before a teenager, and caught some big kings on the piers fishing that way. And that's what they're doing right now, and it's fun for everybody because you can get out there. And I've been watching Facebook, religiously too, with all these other people posting posts and private anglers and whatnot. And there's quite a few pictures, Dan, on the internet of kids hauling in 20, 25-pound salmon on the pier. It's really impressive.
And of course, they have a long-handled net, or else they're in trouble, right?
Yeah, long-handled net. There's somebody close by that can help you, and then that has a net, and get them in and get them on the pier. And it's really cool to see. I mean, right here in our own backyard, you can go out and catch a 25-pound fish right off the pier if you have the time and the tackle to do it.
And kayak fishing, man, you hook a 20 to 30-pound king, he's going to take you for a ride.
Well, I know my customers the other day, there was a kayak out in 40 foot off the Pigeon, and he had a little motor on there, a little electric motor, but he was trolling. He had planer boards out, and I told the guys, the customers, I said, he hooks up that he's going to wear that fish out, because that fish is going to pull him around for a while until he can net him. Got to be a heck of a fight from a kayak.
Yeah. Well, do you have openings? I know I'm planning to come up there with a couple of friends next week, and hopefully we'll have good weather and can get out with you in your personal boat, your Robalo. But how about openings for the charters?
Yeah, we do, and I'm looking forward to that too, Dan. We can do some videotaping and some fishing and have some fun and follow my fleet of boats around and hopefully get some nice video pictures. And that'll be a good time too. And right now, we're filled pretty solid through about the middle of August. I might have one or two openings on afternoons, like a Sunday, Monday afternoon type thing. But even during the week, we're packed pretty tight till the middle of August. But that second half of August right now, there's a break in the action. We're getting a lot of calls right now, but definitely call me and get in for the later part of August, early September. I have Labor Day weekend dates open yet, but this is going to be prime time, guys. And, the later part of August, early September is going to be lights out dynamite fishing. So give me a call at 920-377-1147. Get your reservation in with us before we do fill up.
Alrighty, and before we let you go, Bourbon Street on Indiana Avenue. Boy, there are a lot of bars on Indiana. This one's down the ways, a little more of a walk from your place, but still walkable, right?
Yeah, it is. There are people that walk there or drive there, but it's a few blocks to the west of me, right down Indiana. And they got like you mentioned at the start of the show, they have just a unique menu of food there, and it's just a go-to place too in Sheboygan. I'll tell you, we could talk about all these restaurants and bars, but Sheboygan, we are blessed with just good food in the city of Sheboygan. And Bourbon Street's another one. Get over there and enjoy what they have to offer, and good beers, good sodas, video machines. They have a great menu of just different food that others don't have. So definitely Bourbon Street in Indiana Avenue is a place to stop and check out while you're here in Sheboygan, and great food and just great atmosphere.
They have Friday perch and cod specials that sound really good. And I see they're going to Bloody Mary Fest at Fiserv Forum on the 20th of August. That's in Milwaukee. Some of those pictures of Bloody Marys, you almost need a a partner to help you eat all the stuff they stick in it.
Oh, yeah, it's like a beverage and lunch all in one glass. Yeah, definitely.
Well, speaking of lunch, I'm going to let you pick a place that we can go to lunch after we're done fishing, if you have time to do that next week.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll pick a place, we'll go there and have a nice lunch together and get in time to see, my fleet of boats come in. They come in at 10 a.m., on the morning trips. We go out at 5 a.m., and we'll see them go. We'll see them come back in, and then we'll go grab some lunch somewhere here in Sheboygan. And hopefully we have good weather. And, this year we've had a lot of good weather. I mean, we've had really good stretches of trips here that we've run. I mean, this last week we ran 80 trips in a week, and didn't have any bad weather days. So pretty nice. So hopefully it'll be good for you too, and we can get out there and come back in and enjoy some lunch.
All right. Looking forward to it. We'll see you soon, and we'll talk again on the radio in a couple of weeks.
You got it. Thank you, Dan.
You bet. Captain Dan Weld with the Lake Michigan Fishing Report from Sheboygan, sponsored by his business, Dumper Dan Sport Fishing Charters, Condos, and Riverfront Store on South Pier Drive. You can find him online at dumperdan.com and also on Facebook at Dumper Dan Sport Fishing Charters. And also this week by Bourbon Street Pub and Grill on Indiana Avenue, a little bit of New Orleans in Sheboygan. Bourbon Street, Sheboygan.com, and on Facebook at Bourbon Street Pub and Grill. I'm Dan Small. More Outdoors Radio right after this.